Hey guys, it's the Birdman. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not even sure what today's date is, but it doesn't really matter. This isn't so much of an update, it's just that I've been asking y'all in the comments what y'all want to see, and y'all asked me to show off some of the rest of my animals, which is something I've been talking about doing anyways. So that's what I'm out here to do today. It has been pouring rain last night and yesterday, and it's been raining off and on for like a month, but it's finally nice and pretty outside today, so I figured I'd come out here and show everything off a little bit. Now I'm dark because I'm not in the sun anymore. So down here we've got the breeding loft, which y'all also asked to see the outside of, and it is not particularly glamorous. It's really just a bunch of stuff that I've thrown together. It's not at all pretty, but it is functional, though it still has a few kinks to be worked out. The white part right there though, y'all remember that actually was already sitting down here almost exactly where it is now, and I wasn't being able to get very much use out of it. It didn't work well for the pigeons, but I added on to it this big awkward looking piece of roof keeps rain from blowing in the front, and those things keep water from blowing out the side. The reason it looks so grotesque though is that I've just been throwing it together with stuff that I had laying around mostly. And then we've got the birds in here, which y'all have been seeing a lot of, so I'll only show them for just a minute. Y'all have been seeing all these pigeons. And I've got the 3 Ringneck quail in here, which I've been getting eggs from. And I will talk about them a little bit too. I'm looking to see if there's any eggs in here now. I already got one out this morning, so there may not be. I'm not seeing any. But plenty of pigeons, and we've got some more on the floor now. These two, I think, were the only 2 on the floor before. Well, actually, that one was on the floor this morning, and it's back up there now. And its sister was also on the floor. I'm not sure where it is. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, really. There's a baby up there, and its sibling was, oh, it is, it's back there. I don't know if y'all can see, there's a second baby back there. So, just missing one baby that should be right here, and I'm not sure where it is. It's probably in a box somewhere. Doesn't really matter. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. But anyways, so we've got the Ringneck quail down here, which I haven't really touched on too much. I've got 1 cock and 2 hens, and they're pretty calm, tame. They don't really like being picked up, but they don't really fight me that hard on it either. Yeah, calm down. But anyways, I like having them in here now, but they have been a horrible pain to own, and I'll talk about that. So now I'm going to show you all my Ringneck Doves, which are in an old rabbit hutch that those quail used to be in. I got 8 or 9 of them. I can't remember. Might have been, I can't remember which, if it was 8 or 9. But I had a possum or raccoon one reach through and kill one and injure 3 others, 2 of which were bad enough I had to put them down myself, unfortunately. I did eat them though. They were good. I didn't want to be eating them. I wanted to be raising them, but I didn't have any choice but to euthanize them. And then, see, this is what they were in, this thing right here. I put that wood up on the back, but somehow stuff was still able to get to them, and a Cooper's hawk actually even reached through the wire here and injured 2 of them, and one of them died. I had one kill itself in there by slamming itself into something and breaking its neck. I was in there. I wasn't disturbing them really. I was just standing there on the phone and it did that. This is a pair of white ringneck doves I've got, and I paid a little too much for them probably. But hoping to raise some babies out of them. I have no idea how old they are. They don't have bands, and they're not particularly flighty. I might be able to grab one. They're not particularly tame either, but they're not super skittish. So, anyways, there we go. So they're pretty nice. I'm not sure which one's the cock and which one's the hen. I don't have them marked. I actually did put a blue band on the one I thought was the cock, and then I wound up having gotten it backwards and took the band off and didn't put another on there. But these are the two ringneck doves. Alright, I'm trying to keep my head blocking the sun so y'all can see me, but that's what happened to all those Coturnix quail. So I do like them, but they kept getting killed and it was a nightmare. And then I wound up with 4 in the breeding loft, and I wound up having 2 cocks and 2 hens in there, and the one cock killed the other, and it's been crazy. But now that I'm down to just those 3, I've been enjoying them all right. But we will go in the race loft now. And this is where I've got the bobwhites. Alright, so in here I've got this one odd homer cock, and then I've got 5 white racing homers. It's a pair and 3 of their babies. And then I've got 2 damascenes, this one and that one. I think that they are both cocks, but I'm not sure. Let me latch my door, the wind's blowing on it. Don't want that coming open. And then I've got 2 rollers, Spot down there, and that hen that's hiding behind the cage. And these are their babies. When I put this thing in here, this ice cream container. Would y'all be quiet for just a second? Could I get y'all to calm down a little bit? They want to go outside. There's a reason they can't. But anyways, this ice cream container was for the ringneck doves because they were acting like they wanted to breed, but the rollers quickly took it, and now I've got the now I've got the ringneck doves down there. And then that's it for the pigeons that are, well, that's not true. Right here I've got these 2. That is a indigo check cock that I raced last year, and a red grizzle hen that I have not flown or trained. It's a late hatch from last year, and I've just stuck them in here because I didn't have anywhere else to put them. I'm trying to see if they'll breed. And then I've got the Bobwhite quail back there, which I may try to grab one of. And last but not least, I wasn't going to show them off yet, but these guys are climbing around on my fingers. They've been riding around my shoulder for the video, but for some reason they want to be on my hand now. Y'all can't see what I'm dealing with, but I'm like a jungle gym at the moment. I'm trying to get them back on my shoulders. They usually are just fine to be on my shoulder. There we go. But then they like to climb up to my hand. Anyways, I'm gonna put them down, and I may grab a bobwhite for y'all to see. This thing is trying to climb on the phone. This one, the blue one, loves my cell phone. Anyways, put them down for a minute, now grab a bobwhite quail. So I succeeded in capturing my favorite bobwhite. You can tell because I've got this little yellow band on her, but I can tell her apart anyways. This is the only bobwhite I have that is not a real bobwhite. This is a Georgia Giant. So she's a bobwhite, but she's a little more domesticated and she's a little bigger. I obtained several, I got like 30 eggs from someone else who had bobwhites, and I incubated them. And by I incubated them, I mean I had a friend incubate them for me and then I raised them. And there were several Georgia Giant eggs in the mix, but this is the only one that hatched and survived. So she is actually cooperating really well at the moment, and she's also the tamest of the quail because she's a little more domesticated. Not a lot, I mean she's still pretty wild, but the Georgia Giants, or the Bobwhites, either of them really, not like the Coturnix quail, they do not like to be handled. They're much better flyers, they're much more wild, they send out a distress call if you grab a hold of one of them, and anyways, they you have to be careful with them. And the parakeets are just waiting nicely for me out here. These are the easiest things to get along with. Come here. Oh, where are you going? Yeah, I'm right here. Come here. Anyways, they're the easiest to deal with, but the Bobwhites have been not too bad. They're hard to catch, but as far as actually raising them, I haven't really had much trouble with them, other than that one of them, two of them, got killed by something. And then the only thing that leaves left is the chickens. Here, chicks. Here, chickens. Here, chicks. Here, chickens. Here, chicks. So I still have 2 chickens left. Here comes the other. Where did you just come from? They're not laying in their chicken coop at the moment. I'm about to cage them back up so I can get some eggs, because I need some eggs. Here, chicks. Hey. I think the last time that I did a video before these past couple I've made for 2020, I had 3 chickens, but one of them got killed on the nest, unfortunately. And I'm down to just these 2. So, well, I wonder what just scared them. I'm looking to make sure I don't see a hawk somewhere, especially because I've got parakeets on my shoulder. I don't know, something scared them. So that pretty much sums it up, except for these 2 parakeets, Nina and her mate. They're in their nest box, and so you can't really see them. Come on guys, you want to come out? They said, no way Jose, we're not coming out. But that would be all the animals I have. And these 2 little parakeets that I've been carrying around this whole time are their babies. I hand raised them. They've been weaned for nearly a month now, and they've been for sale basically since they've been weaned, and I've almost sold them several times, and then everyone always winds up changing their mind or backing down, or turns out they're only willing to offer me a certain amount, which is less than what I'm paying and wanting. So they're gonna play around a little bit now. They spend a lot of time outside of their cage. But anyways, that's all the animals that I have. And right here is a mug full of quail eggs. So that's all full of Coturnix quail eggs. And I've just been saving them. I don't know if I'm going to eat them, or if I had an incubator. I've thought about raising some of them, but it's winter time, so I don't really want to deal with chicks. And I also found this while I was out there catching the bobwhites. That is a bobwhite quail egg, but it is smaller than they're supposed to be. This is the first one I've found, so that's why it would be so small, I guess. Very first one. But usually they're about the same size as a pigeon egg, which I actually have some laying around here. I'm trying to avoid y'all seeing all my mess, but there's a pigeon egg next to that quail egg. So the bobwhite quail eggs are almost identical to the pigeon eggs. So this one just came out so small because it's the quail are young and it's the first one, I'm sure. But there's a pigeon egg, and here's a Coturnix quail egg to compare. The Bobwhite eggs are probably somewhere between the size of the Coturnix quail egg and the pigeon egg, which are not that different. But the Bobwhite quail eggs are usually somewhere about in between. But like I said, that's the first one, so it came out tiny. Anyways, that's all the animals I have, though. I hope y'all enjoyed that. And there is just one more thing that I would like to talk about. I actually wonder if there's any eggs in there. I'm not sure if she started laying yet or not. I was hoping to have sold the first pair of babies before she laid again. They're all males, so, or I think that they are all males, so. They're pretty cute, though. Like I said, I hand raised these guys, so they're real sweet. But if you are interested, y'all feel free to leave me a comment. But I'm not really trying to use my YouTube channel to sell them, because I really don't want to have to ship them. And my viewers are from all over, so the likelihood of anyone being close enough to me to drive to get them is kind of low. Though I will say, I have actually met some of my subscribers that do live near me, which is always really cool. So there are some. So if you're interested and you live in or close enough North Carolina that you think you want to drive to pick one up, I mean, you could leave a comment. But this is all the animals that I have. And the only thing I still want to talk about is a one loft race that I'm entering. Alright guys, so I stepped outside because the parakeets are starting to get pretty loud. But I hope you all enjoyed that. That's all the animals that I own. And of course I'm going to be breeding. I am breeding the pigeons. I'm going to be breeding the quail and the doves. So things will continue to increase. I'm still breeding the parakeets. But I don't have any plans to get anything new right now. That should pretty much be it for now, just breeding those birds. And the only thing I still want to talk about is I have entered a one loft race this year. I've talked a little bit more about it in the past, and I will make another video about it, but I wanted to go ahead and mention it to you guys, that if any of y'all fly one loft races, or you've been thinking about getting into one loft races, and you would like to try competing against me, which you might stand a better chance of beating me than I'd care to admit. Though in a one loft race setting, it takes some of my skills and your skills out of it. It's all about the birds. So who knows? Maybe I stand a chance against some of you guys. But I've entered the Eastern America one loft race. This race is put on by a man named Tim Holt. He's a friend of mine. I've taken y'all up to his place before, especially last year, and done some at least one YouTube video up there. Though I've gone up there to see him a lot more than I've videoed. I've got a lot of birds from him that I'm breeding this year. He is a phenomenal guy, very, very generous. He's helped me out a lot. Takes very, very good care of his birds. He's got an awesome setup there, keeps a very, very clean loft. The absolute fattest breeder I've ever had came from him. He just couldn't let me go home without sending something home with me that day that I was up there, and he gave me 2 pair of breeders. When I got home, I was pulling them out to write down their band information, and man, one of those hens was the fattest bird I have ever seen. I don't know how he keeps weight on those things like he does, but he just keeps them so clean, so healthy. He just does a great job, guys. So I don't know if there's anywhere better that any better hands that you could put your birds in, but I've entered that race. So if y'all want to compete against me, I'm going to leave a link to his website in the description below. You could also find it by going to Win Companion, and I'm going to play a short video that he's using to advertise his race for you guys. But I thank y'all for watching. Please continue to leave more comments about what you want to see, and enjoy this clip from Tim's place.